Well, here we are again. It is January 14th, 2019. I believe we're on episode 8 at this point. I don't really know what to say. At this point, this project is really wearing me down. I have pretty much completely stopped working out. Been battling a cold all week. This thing is just really taking its toll on me at this point. I'm really only saying all this because I want to be able to look back at this a year from now and say, wow, this was totally worth it. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I can go. The good news is we are really, really close to being able to move into this thing. I still think we can finish it by the end of the month. So, let's go ahead and get started. Bad news right off the bat. We still do not have the heating AC unit, and at this point it doesn't even look like we're ever going to get it. I called Amazon again, and it got lost in the mail again. They want us to order it for a third time for even more money. However, they did compass the difference. But at this point, this thing's going to be done before it even gets here. And I'm really, really tired of dealing with this headache. So what I've decided to do for right now is just put the heating AC unit on the back burner. We're going to buy a couple more space heaters, which should keep this thing plenty warm once we get the electrical all taken care of, because we'll be able to have all of them plugged in at the same time. And then come summertime, I'm just going to put a small air conditioning unit in that kitchen window right there. And I'm guessing that's going to keep this entire place pretty comfortable to live in. The space heater's already doing a pretty good job, and when all the furniture and everything gets moved in here, it should do an even better job. So that's what we're going to be going with right now. The good news on that is, since I paid $700 for that heating AC unit, that is $700 that we just saved. I can buy another space heater like the one at Costco for $3, and I can probably get the AC unit for the window either for free or for maybe $100, but probably less. So that could end up being a nice money saver here on this project. Financially, I'm still sitting at $17,500, and I still owe Rich $1,000. He's hoping to have this thing done within the next week, and I'm going to pay him, and he's going to be gone. So then we're looking at $18,500 for a completed project, which is unbelievable. So there's some good news there. But we have done a mountain of work on this thing in the last week, which is probably why my health is failing me. But we're so close. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started and see what we've been up to. Big thing you're going to notice right off the bat is we've got this ditch dug over here. It's going from the regular house over to the tiny home. What you're seeing in the ground right here is the sewer line, and that smaller copper one is the water line. We have the water hooked up over here at this point, and Rich even installed a valve so we can shut it off right here at the source, which is fantastic. And it runs along with the sewer line over here to the main house. For those that are going to be copying this work, we're going at basically a small decline at a 1/4 inch every foot, from there all the way to there, so that any water that we use in the tiny home will just drain right through this pipe and go into the drain pipe that we've hooked this up to in the main house. So you can see we had to cut a hole in the concrete there. This is our master bathroom, which is in the master bedroom, and we just hooked this up basically right to the toilet line underneath the house. We're not going to be crawling under the house because I don't want to deal with that right now on camera. And then the water line, this was actually a brilliant move by Rich, goes over here, and he's basically got the water line tapped right into the hose hookup here. So even though this is shut off right now, because we haven't checked all of it for leaks and everything like that, the only water that we're not able to access from the main house is this valve right here for our hose. And everything else in the house is still working, which is fantastic. So we just got a few finishing touches on this, and then that's going to be done, and we will have complete running water and sewer. We're even going to be able to like flush the toilet and everything, which is fantastic. We're planning on running the electricity also through this ditch, and we're just going to do all of it in one ditch and then cover it right back up. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. We also did a little bit of extra insulation up here above the door. We'll be taking care of that later, obviously. Well, let's go ahead and go inside and see what we've been up to. We're going to start with the bathroom because we've done a ton of work down there. The bathroom is completely painted. This is the color that Shan picked out. And like everything else that we've done in this project, there were problems. They mixed the paint wrong. So it took an extra day to paint this because we had to go get new paint, because when they mix it, they can't return it. So we came home, started painting, realized it was the wrong color, had to stop, wait for the next day, go back to Home Depot, buy more paint, and start again. And then of course this whole thing took 2 coats. So yeah, but obviously a huge change in the bathroom from what you guys saw in our last video. And this is our kitchen sink with the cabinet, and it's going to be installed here probably within the next couple of days. We've already got the toilet in, albeit a little rough around the edges, but it's there. And we got the pipes here ready for the sink and the cabinet. And light switches and everything is good to go. This is all just extra electrical stuff here. We're actually just going to put a plain plate here that's just going to cover the whole thing. This is just temporary. And then we've got our breaker switch here. Still don't have the plate put there. And then the ever-present water heater. And then we're going to be putting the breaker box right next to it here. We've been having some electrical problems in this house this week. Rich thinks there's a short somewhere, probably in the light switch that's in the bedroom. So right now we've got the power shut off out here, and we're just using an extension cord that we've got the heater plugged into along with one lamp. So hopefully that will be fixed here pretty soon. And then we've still got our vent up here that needs to be completed. And you've probably noticed that we've got the extra wall put in. It's not textured yet, so we haven't painted it, but it is completely installed. What I did was I went and bought a pocket door frame from Home Depot, and we just stuck it in here and then built around it. So what I did was we took one of the sliding doors from our closet, because our roommates don't like doors in their closets, so they took all of them off their hinges, and they've just been sitting in the garage collecting dust. And we actually took one of them and we're using it for our bathroom door. We're probably going to be painting this door, but yeah, it's installed and works great. We're probably going to put a little handle right here so that we can open and close it a little easier. But yeah, other than that, it's good to go. And then just texture and painting, and this wall is done. So coming out of the bathroom here, we've got the wall on this side. We had to get a little funky with it over here to get that pocket door to fit with, you know, some kind of durability on this wall, because the pocket door frame, as you can see from this angle, is pretty thin. This is the pocket door frame that we got right here. So just putting that on both sides would make this for a pretty flimsy wall. So what we did was we just added extra 2x4s on this side so that the wall's got some stability. So then that ended up causing a little corner up here. So we had to get a little funky with how we installed that. But not a big deal to me as far as I'm concerned. And as you can see, it ended up perfectly with the kitchen counter that was cut here. And here is our little dishwasher. It's not installed yet because it didn't even come with any hookup hoses. So we're going to need to go to Home Depot and buy those. Only thing it came with is this drain pipe here. So yeah, that was a little disappointing. But as I've explained in previous episodes, we're just going to run this behind the counter and into our water hookup right there. As you can see, we've got a garbage disposal at this point. And all the drain pipes and everything hooked up back there. We've also got the faucet installed and ready to go. So, I mean, theoretically, this sink should actually work at this point. I have not tested any of this yet. We're waiting to finish the water hookups outside before we tackle that. But technically, all of this should work. So that's going to be a pretty amazing day when we've got running water out here. So over here, we have not been able to get the washer dryer out of the garage because it weighs a ton. Shan-Shan's friend Chris is coming over here in about an hour with a hand truck, and then we're going to get that sucker out here, and it's going to go right in this corner. We weren't able to finish painting this corner because it needed a little bit of extra plaster work, so we were waiting for the plaster to dry. I'm probably going to get that painted this afternoon, and then it will just hook up right there with the drain right there. Now we put the drain really low for the washer dryer. I know most people have a hookup where the drain pipe is actually much higher. For this particular washer dryer that we were getting, we got a washer dryer combo which washes and dries clothes in one unit. It cost quite a bit extra, but it's going to save us a ton of space, which is why I paid the extra money. But the reviews on Amazon say that they needed to put it on a pedestal in order to get it to drain properly, and without that, it wasn't drying clothes. So since we knew that going in, we put the drain pipe down very low so that we won't have that problem. So we anticipated that, and I'm not expecting any problems there. Over here, this cabinet is now installed and ready to go. And this gap right here is going to be for a garbage can that we're going to be able to slide in and out of there. So that's where the garbage unit is going to go. And then, of course, we've got our power sockets here. All the power sockets are pretty much done, although I didn't buy enough of these, the metal plates that we needed. So I'm going to need to pull these out and put metal ones in their place, like this one over here. These are nice metal ones, and they're really durable. These, as you can see, we've already got a couple of cracks, like right here, because of the way they need to be hooked up. So it basically has to be a metal plate, otherwise they're just going to break. So these are the ones I've been buying from Home Depot, and they've worked really well. We've basically got them installed in the rest of the house other than the kitchen. So we're going to go with a couple more of those, and should be good to go there. So, moving down the hallway here, nothing really new here at this point. Most of my work has been in the bathroom and the bedroom this week. So we've just been kind of using the living area to store stuff right now. My plan for this afternoon is I'm going to paint this wall all the way down, at least, you know, the first 4 feet or so, because I'm planning on putting the cove base all along the floor here and around that wall and into the bedroom. So it's going to be a huge piece of cove base, but I got to have this whole wall painted before I can put that down. So that's going to be my job today. Moving into the bedroom. The bedroom is a mess right now because we're just kind of using it to store stuff, although I did quite a bit of work in here last night. So yeah, we believe the short is coming from here, so that's why we got the plate pulled off the wall, and Rich is going to be taking a peek at that a little bit later today. The closet is completely done. I've got the the shelves put up in there, and we got the bar going across. This is the sliding door for the bedroom, by the way. I had to take this down. It actually is ready and it's working, but I had to take it down because I was doing cove base around the closet last night, and I had to get a little bit funky with this corner to get that corner glued down and kept in place. And then, of course, that's where the door goes. So rather than slide the door out, I basically just had to take it off the hinges so that I could come and go from the bedroom. And then, of course, I've got the saw on the other side holding it in place. So, yeah, I had to get a little funky with this thing. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. I am not an expert at laying cove base by any means. But for an amateur who just watched some YouTube videos, it looks pretty good. And I'm happy with it. Hopefully Shan will be too. So this piece basically goes all around the closet, and I took care of that last night. The next piece is going to have to go all the way around the underside of the sleeping area, and then along this wall, around this wall, and then all the way down to the door. So that's going to be a huge piece, and I'm expecting it to be a huge pain. Just this piece right here in this closet took me about 2.5 hours because I cut it wrong 2 different times and then had to start over. So yeah, it's very frustrating work being an amateur and doing this stuff, but it is coming along. I've got these shelves installed on my end of the closet, just like I have in the bedroom in our regular house. I like to have a couple of extra shelves for shoes. I keep my football bag under here, and yeah, things of that nature. Might even put a little laundry hamper down there or something like that. But yeah, the fact that I've varied the width between the shelves gives us some flexibility with what we want to put in there. And then because we had this wall, or this beam, along the back here to hold up the closet, I basically just added a shelf along here so that we can store some shoes or, you know, whatever we like in there. In the sleeping area, it's a little covered right now, but I also laid the cove base for this area. That wasn't as bad because the inward corners aren't nearly as difficult as the outward corners are. So I got this one done in probably a little bit less than an hour, and it looks really nice. So technically, all I need to do is clean this area up, and the sleeping area is done. We can start moving stuff in here, but that's going to be a while. I want Rich to actually finish his work before I even think about moving stuff in here. Anyway, moving up to the closet area. The closet is all nice and painted, and the corner looks great at this point. I haven't bothered with any of this stuff up here just because we laid that down for painting purposes and texture purposes, and I haven't really done anything with it since we finished painting. But as you can see, I've got cove base laid along there as well, and that came out really nice. Laying this cove base is a huge pain in the butt. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and it made it look really easy, but for me it's just not. It's a constant struggle. But the end result does look pretty nice. It's not perfect, but it does look good, and I'm happy with it. So, and then nothing new over here. It's all just, yeah, the back wall. Nothing fancy. So yeah, that's what we've been up to at this point. I think that pretty much covers everything. Yeah, a lot of changes from the last video, but yeah, we're so close. I mean, this bedroom, all we got to do is clean it up, and that one last piece of cove base, and it's done. So, I mean, technically we could start living in it here pretty soon. So, yeah, Rich is telling me this thing will be done in a week. I know he said that before in some of his other videos, but I mean, based on what we got going on out here and everything, I mean, we're really, really close. I mean, we've got the electricity to finish up, which I'm expecting to be a lengthy chore, but that's like the only thing left that's really, really time-consuming that we need a professional to do. So once that's done, I can pay him and he can pack up and we can start moving in here and putting the finishing touches on this place. So I'm hoping that by the next time I film one of these, we've got running water and, you know, a working water heater, and actually talking about moving into the bedroom and all that stuff. So yeah, pretty exciting. I'm still just trying to gut out the end of this project, and then I'm going to take some much needed rest. But right now there is no time for rest. We've got to get this thing done by the end of January, or I'm going to have some major financial problems on my hands. So just got to keep pushing for a couple more weeks. But as you can see, we've made a monstrous amount of progress here, and we're just so close. I can smell the finish line. So even through my stuffy nose. So anyway, we're just going to keep on pushing, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, hopefully with some very good news. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you then.